Hari Om. Question from Sunday Chinmaya class. Jia. Jia is there? Okay. How to differentiate success in how society perceives it compared to our own true version of following dharma, when society has already affected our view on success. So, according to society, what is the view about success? Success means lot of money, lot of popularity, name, fame, possession, position. This is how society generally considers success. But when we come to spiritual path, we come to know that true success is mind control, sense control, virtues of life, contentment, cheerfulness. So, after coming to the spiritual path, we come to know that there is something called Daivi Sampath, divine wealth, the inner virtues of life. That's when we come to know that this wealth is the real wealth of life. So then what we should do? You change your view, that's all. Society has already affected our view, so what to do now? What you have to do is change your view, what else? If some wrong notion has crept into our mind, created by the society, so that wrong notion has to be replaced by right understanding. This is the way. Did I answer your question? If you have follow-up question, you have to ask. Where is the mic? So whenever that person, you have to give that mic to that person. Here is a person. Jia. You have any questions? No. Okay. Next one. Shonit is there? No. So next question. Jahan. Jahan is there? No. Okay. They only give questions. They are questionable personalities. Next one. Gunjanji. Gunjanji is there? Yes. Give the mic to her. We know that Brahman is beginningless and endless. The appearance of Brahman, which is the universe, is also described as beginningless. Does the appearance of Brahman as the universe have an end? My question is not from an individual mind attaining moksha, since from the paramarthic standpoint there is no universe. Rather, my question is there ever a state in which there are no body-mind intellects whatsoever to whom the universe appears? Or does the universe eternally continue to appear to some jivas at the vyavaharika level? So, is your question that whether universe exists or not, other than the individual? Is this the question?
So I understand that from paramarthic level there is no universe, but at vyavaharik level there is an appearance of universe, which is nothing but Brahman. So does that eternally continue?
At the vyavaharika level?
Yes.
Yes.
It will always.
Yes. Srishti sthiti laya, it just continued. It is beginningless, it is endless.
Yeah. That's all. That's what
all.
I wanted to know. Yes.
Okay.
So it will never cease.
It will never cease. Clear? But for the individual it will cease.
Yes, once they attain moksha.
Once person attains moksha, world is no more there for that person. It is like the school. The school will continue. But you can graduate from the school and it's over for you.
New students will keep coming.
Yes. Answered?
Yes, Swamiji. Thank
Done. Next, Saiji. Laws of the universe are governed in the subtlest bliss. Laws of the universe are governed in the subtlest bliss. In the transactional world, rules, laws are often drafted with immoral and selfish endings. How to navigate legal rules that have spiritual moral conflicts at the individual level and vice versa. What actually do you mean? I have not understood the question.
So, Swamiji, we talk about the laws of the universe,
Yes.
which are governed by God.
Yes.
Right? Those are the laws of the universe.
Yes.
But as we continue to exist in this physical world,
Yes.
we don't follow those laws because we are governed by the legal rules and regulations.
Yes.
And those legal rules and regulations are drafted by, individuals which have their own, in a lot of cases, individual motives or selfish ends or whatnot, right? Laws are not always drafted for the benefit of the society, right? So there's always a moral conflict between right and wrong versus what is legal and illegal. So something in my conscience, according to the laws of universe, is right, but the legal law says it is wrong. You should not do that, right? That's the point.
So can you give an example?
I mean, there's so many. Like,
Give me one example which really creates conflict in you. Because generally the laws are made for the welfare of the society.
Let's say, for example, there's a country where the federal government has some sort of a governmental issues with another country, and they say this particular country is banned from any help from this government, right? But at an individual level, let's say this other country faces some sort of a famine or some sort of a major issue where the population at an individual level, people are suffering. But the government says, no, we don't like this government, we don't like this country, you're not going to help them. But at an individual level, I feel that there are people suffering on the ground. Why would I not want to go and help them? But the government says, if you do that, I'm going to put you in jail.
Is there such a law?
Yeah, I'm just giving right off the...
I don't think charity is restricted by anything. Is it so?
Yeah, there are restrictions.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it so?
Like any banking transactions or anything as such, right?
It is up to you to give. It is up to you whom to give money. I don't think government will ever say that, no, don't give money to this country, that country. There are restrictions?
There are sanctions against certain countries.
Okay.
The government may perceive certain countries to be
Even in charity also.
Any transaction. I mean,
Okay.
I haven't thought through examples, but since you asked me, I just came something off. Yeah.
Okay.
I can give you another example. Recently, during COVID times, right, a vaccine was developed in America first, right? And the whole country was vaccinated. There are millions of people dying in other countries where US could have exported vaccines where they had surplus after they have finished vaccinating the country. But the decision made was, no, we want to hold back additional supplies in case we want to, use it for our population 3 months or 6 months down the line, versus there is an immediate need today for other countries, which was completely ignored, right? So if somebody at an individual level is actually manufacturing, a private company is manufacturing this vaccine, and say they're looking at people dying all around the world and say, wait, this doesn't make sense, right? There are people dying today, and this society is being greedy, where they want to hold something for 3 months, 6 months down the line that they won't even know if they really need it or not, right? These are the typical models.
You see, if you are staying in a nation, you are bound by the rules of that nation because you are protected by that nation. So therefore, there is no conflict here. I am not here to protect the whole world. To protect the whole world, there are other governments also. As far as an individual is concerned, when he is staying in a nation, it is his responsibility to abide by the rules of the nation. Because that individual is protected by the nation. The soldiers who are guarding the borders, they are the ones who are protecting us. So therefore it is our responsibility, whichever nation we are staying, it is our responsibility to obey the law, whatever the law is. So there is no conflict here actually.
I meant like conflict with the laws of the universe in being what is morally
No.
right, wrong versus.
See, your duties and responsibilities are, that is called as swadharma. With respect to your family, with respect to your surrounding, with respect to the place where you work, you will have a specific duty. You cannot say, yes. You can take the mic. Is there another mic?
During Holocaust, people hid Jews in their basements and such. So, and by the laws of the nation, they were required to report them. So, in such case, what should an individual do? I think I have an answer for myself. But
What is
just to
your
give an
answer?
So this one is more pressing. In that case, if I'm in a position to save somebody, by that I mean if I'm by myself. If I have a larger family, if I have kids to worry about, I will weigh the threats against them. In that situation, if there are none, then I will do the right thing and hide the person.
You listen to your voice of conscience. That's all I can say. Listen to the voice of conscience. Give the mic.
Even any independent struggle, if we look at it from that perspective, any independent struggles that the nations have gone through, even take India, it kind of addresses the question that is asked, right? So there is a resistance, there is an authority of a colonial rule, and if we take it just from a governance standpoint,
See, the question is the government formed by the people?
Okay.
If the government is formed by the people, you have to respect that government.
Understood. Okay. That's clear.
Yes.
Okay.
It is not that somebody coming and ruling you. That itself is adharmic actually. So independent struggle cannot come under this category.
Okay.
We'll go to the next one. Why are godly experiences attributed to the illusionary physical world when a true connection to God involves transcending these limitations? Again, I did not understand the question.
So when we
Switch on the mic.
So when we refer to godly experiences, right?
What are they?
Generally in life, as you're dealing with your day-to-day life or obstacles in life, and then there is a path shown, and then we always attribute that, God has shown us the way forward, or we've overcome obstacles that we felt impossible, and then a path was shown forward. We attribute that to
How
godly
was that
experience.
path shown?
Either in the form of a solution that was not anticipated or something that was beyond the
Who is
physical
giving
capability.
it? Who is giving the solution?
That is what we attribute as godly experience in my
Means you
thoughts.
prayed and suddenly something happened. That way?
Yeah, irrespective of praying, like praying or you're dealing with certain life situations or your day-to-day life. And, obstacles are always there. And there are some bigger challenges in life. And when we are able to overcome those obstacles, or when we have some sort of unexpected result in life that is very positive,
Yes.
we attribute experiences like that to godly experiences.
Yes.
God has shown us the way.
Yes.
God has, that's a divine experience, right?
Yes.
Whereas a true godly nature is transcending the physical world, is really inside in the bliss, at a bliss level, right? Anandamaya kosha, at that level. So the question is, why are we attributing the godly experiences that we face in the physical world, whereas the real godly experience should actually be in the Anandamaya kosha, at the bliss level?
So how do you get that to that highest state?
I mean, obviously realization.
How?
one of the things is meditation, I'm guessing, like giving up everything and saying that this is ultimately everything that God's will. It's fully surrendering to the God.
Again, you are coming back to the same thing, right? You see, devotion has got different levels. In the beginning, for an ordinary person, it is very difficult to believe in God because I cannot see God. Correct? So, what is the proof that there is God? So, in the beginning, it is always Artha Bhakti and Artharthi Bhakti. So, then the scripture says, whatever problems you have, you take it to God. See whether the problems are solved or not. Artha Bhakti it is called. I have a problem, I go to God with an open-mindedness and I find that these problems are solved. So then what happens? My faith in God slowly becomes strong. When I see a result, I pray and I am seeing a result. Artha Bhakti, Artharthi Bhakti. I have a desire and that desire is fulfilled through prayer. So then what happens? Slowly, my faith in God becomes strong. These are the initial stages. I have certain needs, I have certain problems, and there is somebody who is solving my problem. That is the first level. The first level is not realization and moksha and all that. I have some immediate problems. Is that power, whichever you call as God, is this God solving my problem? So, Artha Bhakti, Artharthi Bhakti, then comes Jitnyasu Bhakti. Who is this God? I want to know this God. Then you become a seeker. And finally it is Jnani Bhakti, where you come to know this God is none other than my own self. So there are different stages. Initial stages, this is very helpful. I pray and I see an answer and I'm very happy that yes, there is some power who is listening to me, who is addressing my issues. So this is how the growth happens as far as a spiritual seeker is concerned. Most of the crowd you find in the temples are Artha Artharthi Bhaktas only. They are not going there for moksha. They are going for the problems in life. Some health issues, some family issues, some financial issues. They go to God and say, God, please solve this problem. And then I will give you something in back. I will do this. And then miraculously they find that prayer is answered. That is when their faith becomes strong.
Yeah.
So there is absolutely nothing wrong. Clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Next one. Priyaji. Priyaji is there? Okay. With so many spiritual philosophies available today, especially through social media, is it better to learn from many schools of thought to understand life's deeper meaning, or is it better to focus on one? See, first do some shopping. That is always good. There are so many schools of thought. Go to every thought, find out what they say. Before choosing one and dedicating your life for one, it is always better go for some shopping. Nothing wrong. You will always find that there is a particular school of thought which is tuned to your wavelength. You find joy, you find peace, you find solace, you find answers to your question. If there is some school of thought which is in tune with your vasanas, inclination, then that means that is your path. Because there are so many paths. For the emotional people, there is path of devotion. For the intellectual people who have a lot of questions, there is path of knowledge. For active people, there is a path of seva. There are a lot of paths. So it's always better go through all the paths, listen to all the gurus available online, and wherever you are in tune, choose that path and dedicate your life. Clear?
Thank you.
Okay. Next one. Dinesh ji. Dinesh ji is there? Dinesh. Dinesh Chit. No. Next. Stealing is considered a prohibited action, but motive or attitude behind the action is more important. Robin Hood stole from rich and shared with poor. So will that make it a nishkam karma? Or stealing is still a vikarma, prohibited action? Similarly, ahimsa is promoted as a value, but Arjuna was advised to fight. What is the explanation here? See, Robin Hood actually is not a real character. It is a fictitious character. So no analysis is possible of a character from some movie or some novel, because it is a character of imagination, number one. Number two, let us assume this person really existed. So I hope you know Robin Hood used to steal from the rich and give it to poor. Even then, Robin Hood is a criminal. He does 3 mistakes. Number one, you have no right to loot the rich. Don't think that all rich people are bad people. There are people who work hard. There is so much of hard work there. So because he is looting the rich, he is a good person. What do you mean? So number one, looting the rich is absolutely wrong. It's a criminal activity. No, but he is looting for the welfare of the poor. No. Number two, giving money to the poor is also wrong. When you give money to the poor, they become more and more lazy. Yes or no? Free money makes a person useless. So what are you doing? Number one, you are discouraging hard-working people. And number two, you are encouraging lazy people to be lazy. Number three, who has given you the authority to do all this? So he's a gunda number one, put him behind bars. A fellow who thinks money can solve all problems is a confused person. That way also he is a fool. I think that answers the question. Very clear. Okay. Next one. Yeah. You want to ask on Robin Hood?
Yes. What do we say about...
Take the mic. Whenever you want to ask a question, stand up, mic will come to you.
What do we say about Valmiki? He was not a fictitious person, right?
Valmiki was a robber, but
Exactly.
he admitted that what I am doing is wrong, what I am doing is sin, there is repentance. He did not justify his wrongdoing. There was a transformation of heart after meeting the sages. That's how the transformation happened. Robber did not become Valmiki. Yes, there are some hands behind.
Just a follow-up question and just some school of thought, right? So, assuming, I hope I'm audible, right? Yeah. So maybe Robin Hood lived in an era when there was no formal government or anything. Today, how would you say the government actually taxes the rich and redistributes it in a welfare society? And there is a rationale behind it, right? Because the rich are not just rich in isolation. They benefit from the society, and there is certain endowment due to which they are able to make their wealth. And it is considered right to progressively tax the rich, and then in some shape or form through various benefits, it's actually redistributed. So maybe Robin Hood existed in an era where there was no formal government and he had no other choice to do this, right? So just some school of thought.
That's true. If the government is making some rules, just abide by the rules of the government. Because intelligent people sit together and discuss. It is not some robber coming and sitting and making the law. So when the government is doing it, just follow the laws. It is for the welfare of all.
Swamiji, during the time of India's struggle for independence, there were many events that had happened. For example, Kakori Kand, we used to read in the history that these brave Indian independence fighters, they stopped the train. There was all the money that was taken from the taxing the people of India. They took away all that money. And
Was it the money of the British? British were
It
taking.
was for the Indians, but that also goes with the previous questions also. That looting was prohibited. It's a crime determined by the laws of that time, right? Which were all governed by the British. It was not a democratic society.
So the British were looting Indians.
And so these people looted them. So they
Yes.
suffered the crimes which were made by man-made. So these are man-made laws. They were governed by man-made laws. But in the eyes of God, in the eyes of the Dharma, did they do it right by looting and using that money for independence? I know it's a crime from the perspective of British.
You see, here the case is different because British government is not chosen by the people. Please understand this.
So in that context, it is fine.
Yes. That case is very different from this case. When a government has been chosen legally by the people, then it is a dharmic government. There is a very big difference between a dharmic government and an adharmic government.
So if a society is governed by adharmic
Yes.
government,
Then
it is-
all these things are valid.
So if today, so certain laws, if people say that they believe that certain laws are in conflict with the dharma, then those laws should not be obeyed. Certain laws, man-made laws, are in violation of dharma. So for example, in Ireland, there was very lot of hue and cry. They have some very strict laws related to pregnancy for women's body and empowerment. There was a very famous case of an Indian lady who died during the pregnancy because she was not allowed to do an abortion, and her fetus had died inside the body. So people were opposing those laws. People were saying that these laws are not human, they are not justified. But the people, her own family, were not able to go against those laws. So if in a situation like that, when there are laws that are other people concede to be in opposition of humanity, so should we not follow them, or we are still bound to obey them?
See, about
because we are
those
living in a
laws, I
certain
don't know
society?
anything. About those laws, I am not the right person to comment about it because I really don't know the details of those laws.
Sure.
Conscience, that voice of conscience, always listen to it. That's a guidance from God. Never go against it. That's all I can say. About the outer laws and all, I have no idea.
Absolutely. Thank you.
But I think just to clarify what Swamiji is saying, and I'm interpreting, is because you chose to live in Ireland, in your example, and the government is not formed by any, let's say, it was formed by the people, you should obey the laws there, right? So you can't go against this law. That's what Swamiji is saying. Now, you can choose not to live in Ireland because you don't like the law there, but because you're living there and the government was not formed against the people or anything like that, you should follow it. Just interpreting.
Perfect. Oh, there is another question.
It's related. It's picking up on this same thread. So the first thing I would say is an example of the conflict between moral and legal is, of course, the entire civil rights history of the United States, right? All of the laws and all of us here, right, with some Indian origin, can walk around freely and get mortgages and have jobs because of the civil rights movement. And it was a time when it was legally allowable to restrict capital, land, education, all kinds of things from non-white people. And that was a time that is often pointed to as a conflict between morality and laws. I think that's also a time when it's debatable whether the people actually elected the government, right? And who actually has access. I will say, I think, and I'm sure there are at least a few minds that might agree, we arguably live with an adharmic government right now. And the people is a very heterogeneous group. There's no homogenous the people in the US. And so who actually elects the government and for whom they're working is is a complicated question. And I think what resonated most about what you said was, is the government acting in a dharmic or adharmic way? And then going from there, right? And to the point of Robin Hood, right? Martin Luther King didn't just steal from the rich. He went and changed laws, affected conscience, and got the entire system changed. So there's something more productive to do than just the one little, loot you might get. You can actually change a system. But I also am a little bit, I would love to hear you clarify a little bit more how you handle one. Okay, you could argue that this government was elected by the people. They're also acting very differently from what the people thought they were going to get.
You
So
see,
when a government changes,
once you have chosen a government, respect the government. Once you have chosen, or leave the country.
if they're dharmic,
You have choice.
yeah.
You see,
So then I'll change the question. What if the majority is electing an adharmic government?
Amma, Premalji, baithe. You sit down, let her ask, you sit down.
If
You
the
sit
majority
down.
elects, what happens if the majority elects an adharmic government?
How can majority elect an adharmic government? That means majority people are adharmic. Therefore, the majority will suffer that government.
Maybe.
Not maybe, always. If you choose an adharmic person as the king, that person will become selfish. Naturally, the people will suffer. When the people suffers, they change the king. That is democracy. Yes or no? Freedom is given to the people to choose the king, to change the king. But once you have chosen a person or the government, respect that government. That is dharma.
One more question here.
Here. I think we should see, this is not our field at all related to government. Okay? The only answer which I can give you is listen to the voice of conscience, because that is the voice which you have to listen. Outer voice, whether you listen or not, it is not my concern. But there is an inner voice who is taking care of the world, who is taking care of you. Listen to that voice and you will never have conflict in life.
So all I want to add is, I know we are talking at the country level, but this exists at every level, at our family level, school, work, and the country. So no person is existing who's completely right all the time. There is no organization who's existing who's completely right all the time. But wherever we live, if everybody starts having an individual opinion of what is right and what is wrong, then everybody is free to act the way they want. So that's the first book we had studied, that in totality we have to intelligently follow some rules. Yes, all rules might be not correct, not relevant, they might be archaic, but if everybody starts doing what they want, then there will be there'll be chaos. And that is why we have some kind of governance at every level, not just country level, at every level. And that governance may not always be right, but there are right channels to change that governance. So just complaining about it is not going to help. Then you have to do your part, be educated in the right way, use that sattvic thoughts that you have, and change the way you can make the change. Otherwise, what's the difference? If I'm having an emergency in the car, if I flout the traffic rules, then is it right or wrong? The question starts right from there, not just at country level.
Shall we end this topic here?
I will bail you out, but I'll switch the topic. So yesterday I was at a interfaith meeting in Arlington Heights, surrounded by lots of Baha'i people. And they asked me, explain the rudiments of Hinduism. So I talked about the Vedantas, and I talked about ahimsa and dharma, the other part of the question that you didn't answer about.
Ahimsa is promoted as a value, but Arjuna was advised to fight.
Advised to fight. So why? So they asked me, how can you justify Arjuna killing his uncle and his gurus and all that? And
Yes.
I didn't have a very good answer to that question. And this question also asks the same question.
Yes.
So I'll...
See, it is like this. When there is some wound in your body, what will you do? You try to heal it, maybe through ointment, through medicine, etc. But suppose the wound is spreading and it is becoming a threat to the body, then what do? You cut off that limb, isn't it? Hand or leg or whatever. You are using violence. In the same way, in the society, sometimes war is the solution for peace. See what happened after Mahabharata war. Yudhishthira became the king and there was prosperity everywhere. Literally, Bharatavarsha became Ramarajya. Because a righteous king, all people were righteous. You see Bhagavatam, how it is written. There was no disease. There was prosperity everywhere. Mother Nature also was reflecting this righteous way of living of the people. So therefore, sometimes war comes as a blessing. Just like surgery comes as a blessing for the body. You are removing a part of the body, but it blesses the body. So Mahabharata war comes like that. Again, one more thing. You see, it was not that suddenly they decided we'll go for war. No. They had given peace all options. Even Krishna himself went as a messenger. They did not want the war. They said, just give 5 villages, that is enough. We'll avoid war. But Kauravas did not agree for that. So as a choiceless situation, they had to wage the war. Just like as a choiceless situation, we go for surgery. Surgery is not the first option, isn't it? So in the same way, that way you have to understand this. In Bhagavad Gita itself, ahimsa is glorified. So there are times when society is cleaned up only through war. The unrighteous elements, you have to remove them. That war cleared away all the unrighteous, selfish people.
I wish I could take it to my next meeting because you answered the question so well. I was
No, you attend study class, get your answers, and be a good role model for Hinduism. Okay, next one. There is a follow-up question. Yes, Mike. Mike man should be fast.
So, kind of similar to the question on like democracy and like the government.
Oh, tell me anyway.
So, I read in like a book, and it's like basically like when like the people like elect a government, and like righteously like with the dharma, and then the government starts like employing essentially like adharmic rules. So in that case, is it essentially justified to rebel at that point because the ruler was still elected with dharma?
See, only 4 years you have to wait, no?
Oh, okay.
After that again, you are given a choice to change the person, punish that person. Whatever. What I am trying to say is, Arey Baba, be happy that you are able to choose the government. Why are you not seeing the positive side?
So
you are given the freedom. He is not a dictator or something that from now on only I will rule. No. You are given a choice. So if the ruler is not good, next time change it. But once you have selected, respect that government, respect the decision, be obedient. Maybe they might make some wrong decisions. That is fine. That is how we all learn in life. There are so many mistakes we have made in our life. Wrong decision because of which we suffer. And then what do? We introspect and then we correct ourselves. If at the individual level mistakes are possible, why don't you allow that mistakes to happen at the government level? This is how everybody learns. But once the majority has chosen somebody, let us respect that decision. Then that is dharma. Did I answer?
like say so like I'll give like an example. So like say there's a society where people like burn books essentially. So to essentially
burn books.
Huh?
Burn books.
Like any book, yeah.
They burn any book.
Yeah, just like essentially to suppress knowledge. And like society agrees with that idea because they believe that like since people have different opinions through books, because people express themselves, okay, that can create like lots of chaos. So they want to just completely eliminate books so that there's just total like.
See, by eliminating books, you can't eliminate ideas, no?
Yeah, but like, what if you like suppress those ideas?
You can't. If there is some idea which is beneficial for everybody, you just cannot suppress it. You may burn the entire libraries. Nalanda, Takshila libraries were burnt, and these libraries were burning for 6 months. But nothing happened. The eternal values will come up. You can't suppress noble ideas, no way.
Oh, okay.
Goodness, satyameva jayate. Good alone will prevail, truth alone will prevail. That is the way cosmos is designed. Answered?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Next one. It is said that Jnana Yoga is the only way to gain self-knowledge. So, seekers practicing Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga has any chance to gain self-knowledge? You see, actually speaking, there is only one path. The path of knowledge. There is no other path. For example, you are talking of Bhakti Yoga. What is Bhakti? Emotion of devotion is called Bhakti. Yes or no? Now tell me one thing. What comes first? Knowledge comes first or emotion comes first? What comes first? Knowledge or emotion? It is always knowledge. Emotion is only an expression of knowledge. Yes or no? The lady delivers the baby and the nurse brings this little baby. Till then the mother doesn't know that this is my baby. Then the nurse says, see, this is your baby. The moment she hears that this is my baby, what happens? There is an upsurge of love for the child. This love of emotion, when did it start? It started from this knowledge. The expression of that knowledge is love. Can you love a stranger? A person you just don't know anything. No, Swamiji, love at first sight is there. Love at first sight is also based on knowledge only. That external beautiful appearance. Yes or no? It is impossible to love a person about whom you don't know anything. It is impossible. Always it is knowledge, and then as an expression of knowledge comes love, as an expression of knowledge comes seva, service, which is Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, they are associated with Jnana Yoga only. The more and more you know God, the more and more you are able to love God and serve God. So therefore, essentially there is only one path. What is that path? Jnana Yoga. There is no other path. And that is why in the Vedas you will never see Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and all. It's always Jnana. Yes, knowledge can express in so many ways. So this clarity has to be there. That is why it is said Jnana Yoga is the only way to gain knowledge. There is no other way. Clear? Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhiyogam tam. Those who worship my form, I give them the highest knowledge. So again, Bhagavan blesses with knowledge only. So let us keep this in mind. There is no other path other than knowledge. Even the greatest devotees, they were able to love God because they knew the nature of God. Knowledge was expressing as love. Clear? Yes. Next question. Shushanji. We are told that we should view the world as a mere witness and not let outwardly events affect our happiness and peace of mind. But we are also told by scriptures to see God and His presence in every being. So, if there is a match between India and Pakistan, are we to watch the game as a witness only, without any attachment to the Indian team? Should I feel the pain of a losing team? Taking this example one step further, how should a seeker respond to suffering and tragedy in the world, such as acts of terrorism or loss of innocent lives? If one gets disturbed seeing dukkha of others, is that a good state or a bad state? Does abiding in witness state imply emotional detachment, or can empathy and compassion coexist with inner non-identification? You have the mic with you?
Ji.
Okay. You see, this state of witnessing is not some dry, heartless looking, indifferent looking. Many times, witnessing, whenever we use this term witness, we misunderstand so many other things. We unnecessarily add so many things which actually doesn't. You see? Detached way of looking, very dry, no interest at all, indifferent way of just watching. We think witnessing is that. No. Actually, witnessing is observing the world from the standpoint of wisdom. Let me give an example first. Now that you are told this India, Pakistan and all that. Suppose you have two children. They are competing with each other in some game. Whom do you want to win? Suppose there is a boy, there is a girl. They are competing. Whom do you want to win? Both your children only. As far as you are concerned, it doesn't matter who wins, isn't it? Because both are my children. You see yourself in both of them. Then when you are watching that game, actually you are witnessing it. Actually you are not interested in the game at all. It doesn't matter for you who wins. But for your children, it matters a lot. I must win, I must win. Correct? In the same way, this witnessing is that state where you are identified with the totality. For example, in spirituality, what do we practice? We practice this. I am consciousness and not the body. So as you grow in spirituality, slowly, you are more identified with the consciousness in you and not the physical external appearance. So naturally, when I see myself as consciousness, what will I see in others? I have trained my mind to pay attention to consciousness in me. So such a trained mind, when it looks at others, what does it see? It sees the very same consciousness, yes or no? If the mind is trained in looking at the body, it will see the bodies only. I am different, you are different because our bodies are different. But suppose the mind is trained to see consciousness, which is what spirituality does, then you find that we are all one. Body is immaterial. Today it is there, tomorrow it is not there. But consciousness, that spark of life, the essence, it is the same. Once this vision comes, now with this vision, when you see India and Pakistan, what do you see? In Indians also you see consciousness. In Pakistanis, what do you see? You will see consciousness. Then what happens is, to a great extent, you enter into a state of witnessing where it doesn't matter who wins, because they are all me only. All these divisions are created by man-made boundaries, by politicians. You have no value for it. So as you become more and more mature in your spirituality, your attention is upon the real. Your attention is upon the essence. Out of this matured understanding, what happens is you come out of all this competitive spirit. You understand? So the mind becomes more and more peaceful. Actually, you don't value at all. That state is called witnessing. I hope that part is clear. Is there another question also in this? So what will be our attitude towards suffering in this world? You see, as far as a Mahatma is concerned, there are two states. When somebody is suffering, he is able to come down to that level of that person. that state of ignorance. And he is able to relate to what that pain is. At the same time, he is not stuck there. He is able to elevate himself to the higher also. So his understanding is, world is perfect. Whatever is happening in this world is perfect. In this world, whether good or bad, everything is perfect because a perfect God is taking care of this world. So we may say that war is bad, but from his vision, war is also necessary. That is called as witnessing. Witnessing is as though you are seeing through the eyes of God. You are seeing through the eyes of perfection, through the eyes of wisdom. So everything has its place. Whatever is happening is perfect because an omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent God is, it is his will that is happening in this world. So therefore, his mind is quiet only. But when he sees somebody suffering, he has the ability to come down to his level and suffer. But he doesn't justify that suffering. He knows that the suffering is out of ignorance only. Exactly like in the movie theater, you will cry and weep, seeing all the story. But deep down, you are unaffected because you know that the whole thing is a cooked up story. Isn't it? There are two states for you in the movie theater. One state, you allow yourself to flow with the flow of the movie. You cry, weep, but deep down, you are holding on to reality where you know that everything is actually unreal.
So, Swamiji, my question was in the second part. It is also driven by our day-to-day things that we see around us. There's a lot of suffering around us.
Yes.
And most often the times, we are all selfish beings. We are mostly concerned about sufferings that happens to us.
Yes.
But occasionally, when we see suffering around us of other people suffering,
Yes.
it disturbs us to varying degree. Right? You see a child starving. You see in some situation people are getting bitten and you feel a sense of helplessness and you feel, you see that some child was killed, some innocent person was killed and it gives us shoots of pain in your heart. You start feeling yourself in their shoes and then you start to suffer. That was my kind of question, that if we are trying to feel the suffering of other people, is it a good state? Is it a bad state? Should I try to avoid it? To be in that kind of situation.
How free
I am getting affected by other people's suffering.
If you are getting affected, it is definitely bad. Never be a slave of any emotion. You should always be a master. If something is happening, it is happening by the will of God and it is the right thing that is happening. Once you know this, your mind is at peace. Nothing in this world should disturb you. If it is disturbing you, then somewhere you are doubting the justice of God. That is why the mind is getting disturbed. Bhagavan, something is happening and you are not doing anything. You are a cruel God. Injustice is happening, your justice is not. This doubting God is what creates disturbance. It should not be allowed.
So are you saying that whenever injustice is happening, we should not...
If you are in a place of injustice and if you have been empowered to handle the injustice, do it. If it is a choiceful situation, enter into the field. If it is a choiceless situation, cheerfully accept it.
So we should accept the suffering of other people and...
If it is a choiceless situation, somewhere in some country somebody is suffering, you can't do anything, cheerfully accept. Because you can't do anything other than just grieving. That is not accepted.
I would have thought that maybe at the very least we should see their suffering and then pray for their well-being. At least
Very
that
good.
is one
That
thing
will
we
give
should
you
at
peace
least
of
do.
mind. Whether you pray or not, what has to happen will happen. And whatever is happening is the right thing happening. Whether it is death or starving, whatever is happening is right. There is nothing wrong which is happening in this world. When you have that kind of faith, your mind is always at peace.
I get it. It will take a little bit time to absorb because
Yes.
this is a very strong statement that even if there is injustice happening and everything, you have to accept it with a cheerfulness.
Yes.
That is very
Because
difficult.
with my limited understanding, I see that it is injustice. But in the totality, it is not injustice. The one who is going through the suffering, he had given suffering to the other person. It is karma.
So you're saying that that person might have done in suffering in a previous birth or something.
Exactly. It comes back. In this birth, I give suffering to somebody. In the next birth, that very same suffering comes back to me. So when you see the bigger picture, you come to know, oh, everything is in place. When you're seeing only the small thing, you think injustice. You see the bigger thing. And he knows what is the bigger thing. We only know the little thing what is happening. In totality, everything is perfect because there is nobody other than God. Advaita means what? Only I am there everywhere in different forms.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Right. Next question. A robot performs action without a sense of doership, without attachment to results, and without... It is your question only, right? Keep the mic with you. A robot performs action without a sense of doership, without attachment to result, and without emotional reactions such as joy or sorrow. In this sense, it appears to embody non-attachment. From the standpoint of Gita, is a robot the perfect example of a sannyasi and a role model for us? You see, a robot is detached because it cannot get attached. A sannyasi is detached because he need not get attached. Did you understand?
Yep.
A robot cannot get attached. Sannyasi need not get attached. Both are detached, but there is a huge difference. A robot cannot speak. A sannyasi need not speak. You see, 0 degree and 360 degree, they appear to be same, but there is a huge difference. One has not started the journey, other has finished the journey. Both appear to be same, but there's a huge difference. One cannot desire, other need not desire. A robot cannot desire because there is no desire for happiness. A sannyasi need not desire because he is already happy. Are you able to see the difference? Yes, a robot and a sannyasi appear to be perfectly same, but there is a huge difference. An empty pot and a full pot appear to be same. Both don't make noise. But there's a reason why they are not making noise. One is empty, therefore there is no noise. The other is full, therefore there is no noise. But that noiselessness, that is same, but the reason for noiselessness is different. I don't know whether I've answered your question.
Yeah, I think my question stemmed from this confusion, or not actually confusion, but a sense of wondering that who could be a good role model for us, because the journey of doing your own karma is very difficult. We have to be detached at every moment of doing the karma.
You see, detachment, there are two types. Now I understand your question. One is unhealthy detachment. I don't care. I have no interest. That is tamasic detachment. Whereas the detachment which is spoken in Gita is sattvic detachment. It is healthy detachment. You see, it is something like this. Why do you get attached? Because that object is giving joy to you. That is why you get attached. Thing, being, or situation. Correct? That thing is giving me joy, therefore I am attached to that thing. But suppose I am already full of joy. Then there comes a detachment. Because that object cannot contribute to my happiness because I am infinitely happy. That detachment is what is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Getting the point? Tamasic detachment is that thing is not giving me happiness, so I don't want it. I want happiness, but that thing is not giving me happiness. Therefore, I don't want. Whereas sannyasi's detachment is, I am already happy. Therefore, nothing can contribute to my happiness. So there is a healthy detachment and there is an unhealthy detachment.
I get it.
Clear?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes. Next one. Same question. Yours only. Swamiji, you have said that God did not create darkness or negative qualities, and that what we call evil or darkness is merely the absence of good, just as darkness is the absence of light. But the absence of love does not always manifest as love's opposite, that is hate. It can also appear as indifference, that is apathy. A person may possess significant intellectual understanding yet remain egoistic, suggesting ego is not merely the absence of wisdom. Similarly, emotions such as anger, fear, jealousy, greed, etc. are experienced as active and compelling forces, not merely as the absence of their opposites. So if nothing exists outside Ishvara, can they truly be said not to be created by God? If they are not created by God, from where do they arise? If they too are created by God, then why should we be punished for living and acting through them? So the question is, did God create negative qualities or not? In short, correct?
And this is a question I've asked you 2-3 times, and I come back again.
I will keep giving different answers.
Absolutely.
Did God create negative qualities like jealousy, anger, greed, etc.? If He has created it, then why is He punishing us with it? Because He created, He should suffer. This is the question. You see, God has created good and bad, but also He has given us the freedom to choose. You have to understand that He is not forcing us to go through negativity. No, He has given a choice. You can choose good or bad. It is your choice. The choice is given. For example, the law says, as your thoughts, so will be the state of your mind. This is the law. If your thoughts are positive, mind is peaceful. If your thoughts are negative, mind is disturbed. Law He has made. Good qualities, bad qualities He has made. But also He has given you a choice. If you choose good thoughts, you will be happy. If you choose bad thoughts, the very same law will punish you. So who is punishing you? Your own choice of bad thoughts is punishing you. No doubt God is punishing you through His laws, no doubt. But before that you did something. You have chosen something negative. So really speaking, my choice of negative emotions is coming back to me. So who is punishing me? Me, myself. My wrong choices. I cannot blame God for that. God has created good place and bad place. When I go to bad place, bad experiences happen. You can't blame God for that. In the first place, why did you go to that bad place? You could have gone to good place. So therefore, God cannot be blamed. Clear? Again, you should ask next week also, okay? Next time.
I'll ask in another form.
Another form, fine. Vimalji. Vimalji is there? Yes. How one can disidentify from BMI and identify with consciousness? In chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan has emphasized that one who understands my divine birth and action, he comes to me and is not born again. Bhagavan is pointing to a supreme state of perfection where one identifies with consciousness, which is akarta and ajanma. So the question is, how can we disidentify from BMI and identify with consciousness, correct?
Yes.
You see, we have a choice. Either to give importance to what is seen in consciousness or give importance to consciousness. This choice is there. There is consciousness, and there are things seen in consciousness. Yes or no? Now I have this choice whether to give importance to things seen in consciousness or to give importance to consciousness. Whatever you give importance to, you will experience that. Suppose there is a sense object which can give me sense pleasure. I want that pleasure from that sense object. If I want that pleasure, I have to interact with sense object. To interact, I have to use my sense organs. To use my sense organs, I will have to use my body. To use my body, I will have to identify with the body. So therefore, when I am desiring a worldly pleasure, what am I unconsciously doing? I am identifying with the body. What am I unconsciously doing? I am ignoring consciousness. Are you able to understand? I am ignoring God. I am telling God, oh God, I don't want you. I want the pleasure which you have created. That is how we have all landed in this world. We have given importance to the world and not God. God is ever waiting. God is ever waiting. But we ignore Him. We say, I don't want you. I want this pleasure. I want this name. I want this fame. I want this position, etc. So, this is the mistake we have done till now. So, how to correct this mistake? Instead of choosing the world, choose God. Then you get God. Simple. And how do you choose God? By paying attention to consciousness. That is called as identifying with consciousness. Did it make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
My follow-up question was that our negative tendencies like karma, krodh, jealousy, anxiety are probably due to our past impressions.
Yes.
Can they will be taken care by identifying with the consciousness? Or
you see, when you try to identify with consciousness, this kama krodha will trouble you. My greatest enemy is my likes and dislikes. The moment I have likes and dislikes towards an object, my attention automatically gets gravitated towards that object. It doesn't stay in consciousness. Are you able to follow? If the mind is pure, you are easily able to stay in consciousness. But if the mind is impure, that mind will be dragged towards the world of likes and dislikes. So now there is a struggle. So what you have to do, every time the mind asks you to indulge in an object, you say no, you will come back. This is the struggle. And in this struggle, what happens? Slowly all this kama krodha will die down. Provided you choose consciousness every time. And a time comes when all these vasanas are exhausted. Then the mind becomes pure, it firmly abides in consciousness.
so we start with the karma yoga.
Yes, karma yoga is the best way. Yes. Clear? Okay. Next one, Sri Charanji. Who is Sri Charan? Yes. In the Bhagavad Gita, God advises human beings not to become overly attached to material possessions or relationships, and instead to place their love, devotion, and ultimate refuge in Him. This teaching raises an important question for me. Why does God seek our exclusive love and devotion? Why is loving God considered the highest or most mature form of love? While lifelong love for one's parents, children, family is often described as attachment or immaturity. If love for family is natural, selfless, and deeply meaningful, why is it viewed as something to be transcended rather than honored as sufficient? You see, why does God seek our exclusive love and devotion? There's a question. In everything about our life, you see, We are living in God only. Tell me one thing which belongs to you and not God. Your life. Does it belong to you or does it belong to God? Who is maintaining our body?
It's God. Yeah.
Heart has to beat. Digestion has to happen. Circulation has to happen. Who is doing it? Our talents and abilities. How am I thinking? I don't know. How am I seeing? I don't know. How am I hearing? I don't know. The sense organs are functioning. We don't know how it is. So life is given by Him. Abilities and talents are given by Him. The world is given by Him. Even relationships are given by Him. Everything is given by Him. Can't we have love and devotion for Him? What is wrong if He's expecting love and devotion, attention?
Yes, I understand that, but I also give a follow-up question. Like in Ramayana, I think I put it on the paper also.
Yes, the second question. Yeah.
So it's like when Lakshmana falls in the battlefield, Lord Rama actually expresses grievance, saying that,
Yes.
okay, I can find another wife, but I cannot find a brother
Yes.
like you. So this grievance is like showing attachment to his.
You know who killed Lakshmana? Rama himself. You are aware of that?
No.
Rama showed extreme attachment to his father, but he alone killed his father indirectly. When it comes to duty, Rama never compromised. What is a sign of love? You should give everything for the sake of love, isn't it? Did Rama ever do it? What is the proof that this love is the ultimate? The proof is you give up everything for that sake of love. If you see in Rama's life, he abandoned his wife, he abandoned his brother, he abandoned his father. Nothing was important for him. What does it mean? Whom did he give importance? Truth, duty, or love?
It's kind of still, I mean, but why did he show grievance? Like,
Why did he?
Why did he show that attachment towards
whom?
To Lakshmana, and then
He was not attached to Lakshmana. Who said? You know the last story? The story goes like this. Yamaraj comes to Rama and says, Rama, I want to have a discussion with you. But the condition is nobody should be allowed into the room. Rama said, okay. He called Lakshmana and said, Lakshmana, be on guard outside. Nobody should be allowed. Whoever comes, I will kill him. He has to die. Lakshmana said, done. He was standing outside. Durvasa comes. Durvasa Rishi comes, says, I want to meet Rama now. Lakshmana said, no. If you don't do it, I will burn the entire Ayodhya, I will curse the entire Ayodhya. Now Lakshmana was in confusion. What to do? If I don't allow this Rishi, he will destroy the entire Ayodhya. If I allow this Rishi, then I will have to die. Then Lakshmana said, it's far better I die. He goes in. Rama said, see, I have told you, whoever comes in will have to die. You have to die. That's how Lakshmana goes and sacrifices himself. He goes and, dies in Sarayu river. Now, if you say that Rama's love was truly great for Lakshmana, what he should have said, Lakshmana, don't die. I'm so attached to you. You see, after all, for saving Ayodhya only you came. No. Nothing doing. Matter was over. What kind of love is this? Is this love? Tell me one place where Rama compromised. One place. Nobody was important for him. Yes, it is true that he was attached, there was love, everything, but when it comes to dharma, when it comes to truth, no compromise at all. You are talking of family attachments, etc. I understand. You see, the purpose of worldly love is only to introduce ourselves to divine love. Let us understand this. Our love for our wife, our children, our family, our father, mother, there is only one purpose, to introduce ourselves to worldly love so that we become fit to understand divine love. Divine love is very high, very subtle, very difficult to understand. So first, we are asked to get acquainted with love. The lower love, the grosser love, the worldly love. That is the purpose of Grihastha-ashrama. Grihastha-ashrama is not to, get so attached to all family members and die there. No. That is why we have all ashramas. What is the first one? Brahmacharya ashrama. Second one, Grihastha-ashrama. Third one, Vanaprastha. Start withdrawing. Fourth one, Sannyasa ashrama. Leave everybody. You see?
Yes, Swamiji.
We should be very clear. Otherwise, generally people die in Grihastha-ashrama only. We get so attached to everybody. Wrong way of living. Make use of this love. Yes, Grihastha-ashrama is a wonderful place. There is love, there is sacrifice, there are all kinds of virtues you grow, but slowly, slowly, slowly become so matured that there is a healthy detachment and you move forward towards God who has given you everything. The entire family is given by God. We get so attached to family members that God is forgotten. Family becomes the highest priority. Is it right? Isn't it the greatest act of ingratitude? God who has given you everything, you forget Him. And that you are busy with the toys given by Him. Will any mother like that? Mother gives a toy to the child and child is busy with the toy and the child forgets mother. Will mother like it?
No.
This is what is happening to us. God has given everything, life, talents, abilities, wealth, job, people, family members. In the womb of the mother also, He Himself was taking care of me. Mother herself did not know what was happening. In the womb, He took care. When you came out, you were not able to digest the normal food. He prepared a special food, the breast milk. Every stage, that mother's heart was filled with love. That love is also from the divine only. He generated love in the hearts of father, mother, so that we are taken care by our parents. Every stage He is taking care of us. And what are we doing? We get attached to all these people and completely forget Him, neglect Him. It's a sin. So therefore, loving God is the greatest duty in this world.
Got it, Swamiji. Thank you.
Right. The Bhagavad Gita explains that human birth is the result of past karma, with each life shaped by actions performed in previous existences. However, this leads to a deeper philosophical question. If birth is caused by karma, how did the very first birth occur? When there was no prior karma and no previous actions to account for existence, why were beings born at all? What is the origin of the first karma and how did the cycle of birth and rebirth begin? It's a very common question. All the time this comes. What was the first karma? So the answer to this is, there was never a time when there was first karma, because our existence is beginningless. So karma is beginningless because ignorance is beginningless. There was never a time when everything started. No, it's beginningless. Wherever there is ignorance, there is karma. Wherever there is ignorance, there is desire. Wherever there is desire, there is karma. And wherever there is karma, there is physical existence. Now the question is, when did ignorance begin? When did ignorance begin? This question is wrong because ignorance cannot begin. It is beginningless. When did your Chinese language begin? It is beginningless. Ignorance doesn't need a beginning. Knowledge needs a beginning because there is effort involved. Silence doesn't need a beginning. Sound needs a beginning because there is effort involved. Wherever there is effort involved, there is a beginning. For ignorance, there is no effort involved. I can maintain the ignorance of thousands of languages without any effort. So since ignorance is beginningless, everything else is beginningless. If suppose, let us assume ignorance began at a particular time. What does it mean? Prior to ignorance, what has to exist? Knowledge has to exist, correct? The opposite of ignorance is knowledge. So suppose, let us assume ignorance began at point t equal to 0. To t equal to 0 minus, just before, what was there? Knowledge. Is it possible? Is it possible for ignorance to come after knowledge? Knowledge can come after ignorance, possible. But ignorance cannot come from knowledge. It is illogical. So therefore we say ignorance is beginningless. Therefore karma is also beginningless. Everything is beginningless. Right. So thus our questions have ended. Endless questions end here. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om